Hello and welcome to the Simuldub Saints, your guide to seasonal anime dubs. I'm your host, LaserKid, and with me as always is my trusty co-host.
Hello, I am Archangel, lover of cat girls.
You've been listening to our theme song, Wherever I Go, from friend of the podcast, Ampren. Please check out their awesome music, link in the description. And, this time I have a sponsor, or rather, a YouTube shout-out. This episode, we are shouting out the Studio Revue, starring Sam Reid. More about him at the end.
All right.
Told me I could do it, so I did it. Yeah, sorry folks, the downtime is 100% on me. I struggled mightily to get that award episode edited. By the time you hear this, the award episode will have come out. I don't know if I'm going to put this out the same week or not. We're going to figure that out as we go. It's either going to be the week after the awards or a couple of days after the awards. I'm not sure how that's going to play out just yet. But this is definitely the first episode we've recorded since we talked to you guys about Kowloon Generic Romance. Since the award was recorded back in, June.
Yeah, it's been long enough that I don't even remember what we picked, so it's going to be a surprise to me when I watch it.
Yeah, it's not edited yet as a recording time, although I have all the pieces I need, so it's just a matter of time. So look forward to that in the past, I guess? Question mark?
We hope it was worth the wait. Let's go with that.
Yes, I hope, and I'm very, very sorry. I was gone for so long. When I came back, I kind of crashed for about a month, and I apologize. Yep. I tried. I failed.
Shit happens. All right, moving on.
Moving on to the news. Well, the Demon Slayer Infinity Castle movie has tickets available worldwide now. Making our friend Fandom Maniacs over on Nerds and New Sexy Entertainment happy, Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3 is set to stream in October.
I didn't know that one.
Or not October, sorry, January 2026. You don't know Jujutsu Kaisen? It's one of the big shonen jumps right now.
Okay, then no, I don't think I've heard of it. Not that means anything.
Yeah, no, it's a big one. I don't know why I said it was season. It's not the season. It's coming out January. I'm smart, guys. But you know what is coming this season? On October 4th?
Yes!
SpyxFamily Season 3 to premiere October 4th, y'all. Oh, it's been a long time coming, but I'm excited! SpyxFamily is all of the amazing.
Yes, it's so positively elegant.
Yes! And our last piece of news, Campfire Cooking in Another World, My Absurd Skill 2 is set to premiere on October 7th. No word about a simuldub, but season 1 is one of those ones where they went back and dubbed the entire season like a couple of seasons later.
Is that the one where the guy basically gets shanghaied by a giant wolf to be his personal chef? That was good.
That's the one. Oh, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Well, I guess you and I are going to watch it. Which makes me happy because I was trying to figure out how I was going to catch you up.
No, I just randomly stumbled on it on Crunchyroll quite a while ago now.
Yeah, no, that's one where
it was fine.
They dubbed it several seasons later, which I love it when they do that. And hopefully this will get assembled up. And that's our news. Before we get into the topic, this is related to the topic, but we're talking about the anime Anne Shirley, which is based on Green Gables. What is Green Gables, though? I did some basic research, aka I read Wikipedia. I'm not going to pretend I did something too hardcore. But Anne of Green Gables is a 1908 novel by Canadian author Lucy Maud Montgomery. Publishers L.M. Montgomery. Yes, I'm reading Wikipedia, guys. It's fun. It's been considered a classic children's novel since the mid-20th century, and it is set in the late 19th century, and it covers the adventures of the titular Anne Shirley.
Yeah. So think in broad, it is the first in a series, so think a little bit like Little House on the Prairie. A little bit.
Yes. I was going to say, you might be wondering, why isn't it just called Green Gables? Well, as it turns out, and I did not know this, until I looked into it. Green Gables is just the first book. The sequels include Anne of Avonlea, where she is the teacher at Avonlea, which we've actually had that fully adapted, and Anne of the Island, where she goes to college, which is where we are now. And I didn't bother to read the descriptions of any of the rest of these because I don't want spoilers. But Anne of
Are they doing the whole series then?
Oh,
I hope so.
How you do? Anne of Windley Poplars, Anne's House of Dreams, Anne of Ingleside, Rainbow Valley, Rilla of Ingleside, and the posthumous short story collection, The Blythes Are Quoted. Apparently, she wrote a whole bunch of stuff that didn't get published, and it came out in like 2007.
Fair enough.
So, yeah. Looking into what I did look into, this author had quite a productive writing career. Lots more stories, not just Anne Shirley stuff. And she was very active, did a lot of stuff. Well, I think that's enough preamble.
Yeah, let's set the scene a little bit. It's just after the turn of the 20th century in Canada, specifically Eastern Canada, on I think it's Prince Edward Island. Is that right?
That is correct.
Yeah, and so it's based on more or less on a real place, but it's a fictional town called Avonlea.
Yep.
And it's a perfectly stereotypical place along there is rail access, as was the mass transit of the day, and still one of the foremost edges of technology at the time. Cars were just barely beginning to catch on, or would soon, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Yeah.
So it's in that fairly stable but changing world, and it's here that we meet the first three of our characters. So why don't you start going into that? Okay.
Indeed. Our protagonist is Miss Anne Shirley herself, voiced by Monica Flatley, who we both awarded for this preeminent performance. It's amazing. But you may also know her for Rouge Red Star and Metallic Rouge, and Uka Ishimori in Honey Lemon Soda. And I'm going to say this right now as I went through all these, we didn't credit everyone, although I will say everyone in the show is amazing. We kind of went for the main five here. But these roles, these voice works, are defining for every single one of them. The only one that I had a major, I know this person, was a guy who plays a major character in One Piece, and other than that, that's about it.
Yeah, well, Monica in particular, after these three, and then whatever she does next, I fully expect in 5 or 10 years' time, if hopefully we're still doing this, to be introducing her as the legendary Monica Flatley.
I think she's certainly earned it with this one, if nothing else. But yeah,
not just yet, but I think it's a matter of time.
I would definitely agree with you. So yeah, Anne is an orphan, and she's actually from Nova Scotia, of all places, where
the Loyalist province.
Yeah.
Well, because all the people we kicked out of New England during the Revolution, most of them went up there. It's a whole thing. But anyway, they still hate us for it.
Ooh.
Or so goes the joke. Not really. But yeah, that died a long time ago. But anyway, so yeah, she's been in and out of orphanages, family background unclear. And she is being taken in by not technically a married couple, but sort of a married couple. Their brother and sister, in their late middle age, Marilla and Matthew Cuthbert, who want actually a young boy to help around the house and farm. So, Marilla is voiced by Linda Leonard, also known as Liza Quillen in The Ancient Magus Bride, and Martha in SpyxFamily.
recognize those names because I certainly didn't. But Liza Quinlan was the head master in Ancient Magus Bride Season 2, where she was the head of the Alchemy Academy. That I recognized. And Martha is the maid to Anya's best friend in Spy Family. So she has some roles you might recognize her in, but let's be honest here. None of those are going to hit as hard as, that's Marilla. Which, by the way, Linda Leonard nails this role so well.
It's a very subtle performance in the best possible way.
Absolutely.
And I don't know how old Linda is, but I think she has to put on the voice of someone considerably older than she is for this, and she does it very well.
I would definitely agree. She does a fantastic job as Marilla.
Yeah.
And then there's the man, the myth, the legend, Matthew Cuthbert, voiced by Randy Perlman, who is Emporio Ivanka for you One Piece fans like me. Which, that's a pretty major role if you're into One Piece. But the next most major role I found is Walter Evans in Spy Family, who's one of the teachers. So this is still a pretty defining role for him, even though he's already got a pretty major mark on it.
Yep.
And I gotta say, damn, he just nails it.
Right. I think Matthew is the older of the two siblings.
Well, based on what happened, probably.
Yeah, and so, but Marilla has a much more forceful personality, and certainly is more talkative, and so she's
prim and proper.
Yeah, she very much is. We do things the way we do things. A heart of gold, I will say.
Oh, absolutely.
Severe in countenance and manner, but not a mean person.
No, I believe, if I remember correctly, you actually gave her an award for a character arc because she warms up over time.
Right. So, basically, Anne is basically told you're going to be going with this family, because remember, they had asked for a boy.
Yes,
and so Anne gets sent by mistake.
Matthew gets Anne, and he's just like, okay, what? I'll take this.
And he's honestly very shy. He actually reminds me of our friend R Dragon a little bit.
I can totally see it.
Very, very quiet, very shy, reserved, but definitely not a non-entity. That too, but also, when he does want something, he makes it known in his quiet way.
I'd agree.
And it's hard to say no, because he is such a nice person. And that's basically what happens is, Matthew shows up with Anne, and Marilla's like, what the heck? And she's like, all right, well, let's get you bedded down for the night, and then we'll see about and then we'll see about sending you back. And Marilla has this idea that little girls who are not your own blood are untrustworthy for one reason or another.
Well, the other thing is they wanted a boy to help with the work on the farm.
Right. So there's that. And so, but basically, Matthew can't bear to send her back because Anne, as you might expect, is crushed.
She is absolutely taken with the area. She is an incredibly expressive, emotional girl who's like immediately falls in love with the area. We'll get into that
in a second, but before we do, just basically Matthew just gives Marilla the puppy dog eyes, essentially. It followed me home, can I keep it?
Totally does.
And Marilla, of course, relents, because between the two of them being so cute, Marilla's like, fine, it can stay. And so let's talk about young Miss Anne Shirley, who is a very singular person.
Oh gosh. She is incredibly emotional about everything in all the right ways. She is basically immediately in love with the area. And she makes up names for things like the shining flowing waters. Everything is very flowery for her. But it's not just the positives. When it's negative, it's the end of the world. She feels more than most people.
So for those of you who have who were not young ladies at some point, if you've had cousins or sisters or daughters or whatever, you may think, oh, this is normal for young girls because she's not even a teenager yet. No, this is worse than normal.
Oh yeah, no, this is
Well, I don't want to say worse, but far more intense than normal.
it's
She
more
just
intense.
feels so intensely. I can't really relate, honestly. I struggle to comprehend it.
I actually can really relate.
Okay.
And I can't relate with the expressiveness. I'm nowhere near as expressive as he is. But having those intense feelings, yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah, she's incredibly precocious.
Well, yeah, her ability to express is actually really
right. Yep, and so she and Marilla just doesn't know what to make of somebody like this. She's never met anyone like Anne.
Well, to be fair, what do you do when you have this little girl going, oh, I have to go. No, it's the end of the world. I'm going to die. Oh, my hair is green. I shall never be in love again.
Yeah, because her particular shade of red hair apparently is not.
She doesn't like it. She doesn't like it. No one else seems to care, but she doesn't.
She's pretty enough, but whatever.
I agree with you, but she doesn't.
Certainly not the prettiest girl in the story, but certainly very pretty. So but yeah, so she at one point she tries to dye her hair, blah, and it doesn't go very well, as you might expect. So there's all these little. It's a novel about life.
Yeah, and that's something that we're not going to be able to summarize everything that happens because
we're not even going to try.
No, we're not even going to try because there's just it's all individual stories.
It's just
tiny little stories here and there and everywhere. And honestly, even if we did, we wouldn't be able to get the feeling right. Because the thing about it is it's the energy that goes with those stories. And a lot of that has to do with Anne herself. Her absolute strong emotional reaction to everything. That it does carry the story, to be honest.
Yeah, well, she's one of the better protagonists I've ever encountered. Because the funny thing is, I always knew of at least the first novel, Anne of Green Gables, growing up. I somehow never read it.
About it. I never read it either, but I've heard about it. It's been in my orbit forever. I just never got.
I mean, I did read Laura Ingalls Wilder and a lot of other stuff. One series that is very long and it couldn't be more different. But the one that was kind of like this that really had an impact on me was the Horatio Hornblower novels. But what this reminds me of in a way is again, very different time and actually not that far removed in time, but very different place and circumstance is a novel called To Serve Them All My Days, which if you like this anime, there is a live action adaptation of that, and I would strongly recommend you look that up if you like.
Yeah, you showed it to me. It's something. It's definitely something.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into a tangent about that, but recommendation.
Oh yeah, we'd be here all. That could be an extra prayer someday.
Sure. Yeah, we'll do an extra prayer, just basically giving the pitch and pointing you in that direction. But yeah.
Anne is all by herself until she comes across a friend. Go ahead, Ark. I know you want to talk about her.
Yeah, and so speaking of the prettiest girl in the story, at least in my humble
I was wondering.
Yeah, no, it was my waifu for the show. Just a very sweet girl.
And very
more
sweet.
Relatable. Because again, I could never date someone like Anne. We drive each other crazy in a bad way. But Diana, given similar ages, I would want to marry. She actually reminds me a little bit of my Chuchi Barbara, where it even looks a little bit similar. So Miss Dana Barry, before I forget, she's voiced by Amanda Gale in High Style, relative newcomer, Lowell in The Witch and the Beast, and Haru in Berserk of Gluttony. And she is the scion of a, I think, relatively well-off local family.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. What's interesting is the area, although remote, is not particularly poor. Just lower middle class, I would say, is the vibe I get from the community, if that
I'd
was even a
agree.
concept back then. But everyone has, well, not to excess. Everyone has nice clothes, and they're all well fed and that sort of thing. So, and so she is so Diana is a young lady who just kind of gets caught up with Anne and enamored with her. She would just been a pretty normal, kind of quiet kid, and they just become the very best of friends. And it's this whole thing, and it's adorable.
It's actually very adorable. It kind of reminds me of the way you and I are friends in a lot of ways, honestly.
Kind of, but starting at a much younger age. And,
no, we met when we were in
it's
our
a lot
20s.
more. It's a lot more abrupt than I think that our initial acquaintance was.
That's true. So, we met through mutual friends.
Through a mutual acquaintance, yes. And that fell away, but our friendship remained and deepened.
Indeed.
Yep. And then, at least initially, her arch nemesis, Mr. Gilbert Blythe.
Voiced by Corey Wilder. And that's Justice in Zenshu. Your preeminent reminder to watch Zenshu.
Indeed. Also, Will Surfort in Wisteria 1 and Sword. So again, someone who's had some significant roles before,
like
but this
exception.
one is...
This is kind of the exception because, let's be honest here, Will Surfort and Justice are both pretty also defining. But this is also a fantastic performance. This is also proof that my ears can be fooled, because this is not who I thought was voicing Gilbert.
Well,
I thought it was Ian Sinclair, but I am wrong.
Nobody's perfect. So he is probably, along with Anne, the other brightest kid in the community. And when she starts going to school with Diana and everybody else, Gilbert, first of all, is just kind of, he's a young boy, and he doesn't understand the line between friendly teasing and bullying. And he did some teasing stuff, which is, admittedly, he does take it too far.
He smashed a board upside her head. It breaks.
Did he mean to do that?
Yes, he did.
Yeah. So yeah, he was being a little shit.
Well, he did it because she was being overly dramatic in the middle of class, and he just wanted to learn.
Yeah, it becomes this whole thing, and basically, at some point he realizes things are going way too far, and he tries to make up. But Anne is so emotional, very stubborn. Yes, that. But also, just her emotions are so intense, she just can't even comprehend it, and he just keeps trying to make up with her over the years, and she just. She doesn't antagonize him exactly, but she wants nothing to do with him, I think.
I agree. She rebukes him. That does eventually soften after he rescues her in a boat.
Yeah, there's that. So, it's gradual. And that's even before, when they become teenagers, poor Gilbert falls in love with her, which I don't blame him, but that is a cross to bear.
Well, what's fun is, by that point, they've made up and they're friends now. But she has no romantic attachment to him. But we just skipped ahead past a very major pivotal event, which is why they became friends in the first.
I don't... Remind me.
As is the case for a lot of people in that time frame, and even today, Anne Shirley lost a parent. Matthew Cuthbert dies. Of what I can tell, looks like a heart attack or something like that. And he does not make it.
Neither he nor Marilla are spring chickens, and he's lived a physically hard life, just working. And so that's not. I'd say his death is not unusual for the time and place.
No, not at all.
If anything, he lived a good long life.
Honestly, it's not even unusual for a day.
Not
you hear stories. You hear stories like this all the time.
Right. And even to the point, he knew he was probably on his way out, but to take his own words, I'd rather drop in harness, which I respect.
Mm.
Or
It definitely comes unexpected for everyone.
is
Quite a shock to
somewhat,
Marilla
yeah.
and Anne.
They knew he
Not
wasn't
somewhat.
doing well. Yeah,
No,
they
they
knew he
didn't.
wasn't
They didn't
doing
know
great.
that at all. He was just reading a newspaper and suddenly falls over, and they're both very shocked. I don't know where you're getting that from.
Remember that whole conversation he had with Anne on the wagon?
Yeah, he does say he's
Where
not doing. He does
right,
mention
and
that,
he should
but
he should really take it easy. And he's like, I
yes,
can't.
he does say that. But she's a kid; she doesn't know what that means.
Fair enough.
And
But
look
yeah,
at their reaction when he dies. It
yeah,
is
it is
panic.
basically
It's
out of nowhere.
shock. It's surprise. It's not expected at all. To the audience, it's telegraphed quite well. But to the in universe, no, it's a shocker, and it hits Anne particularly hard. And the person who's there for her, surprisingly out of nowhere, is Gilbert,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how they make up and become friends after that.
Okay.
But there's more story after that, like that's one of the major turning points. But I mean, after that, there's the whole teaching storyline where, and that's the second book where she goes and becomes a teacher at Avonlea School.
Because
Where
while things were getting better, education opportunities for women were still remarkably limited at that time.
she actually earned a really good sponsorship. She
Right,
was
but
able
it's
to go to
not like
college.
right, but but only because she's so bloody smart.
Yes,
Most
but where
girls
I'm
did
trying
not
to
have that opportunity.
agreed, but that's not why she didn't go to college. She didn't go to college because Matthew died and Marilla needed help on the farm.
Yep. And I think it's at about that point they get the little ones, right?
And it is when they pick up the little ones whose names I don't remember.
Yeah. I think twins, a boy and a girl.
A boy and a girl, and I couldn't tell you the voice of them, but
the best girl in the world and a genuine holy terror, respectively.
he gets better though. Does get better.
Oh yeah, but again, he's one of these people who's gonna need regular smacks upside the head his whole life. I think some people are just like that. I'll be one of them. Not in quite the same way as him, but
Indeed. So yeah, that's a whole storyline, but eventually she is actually able to go to college because Marilla gets some help.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Actually,
the storyline
Marilla's.
we're in now.
And the other thing is, we don't need to go into that, but yeah,
No, I'm just giving the basic
life
idea.
goes on. Yeah, life goes on, and there's lots of other friends. There's the other kids who are having their own adventures and arcs and stuff.
Oh
and,
yeah, she's got friends at the college and
Yep.
all kinds
I
of
mean,
stuff.
even back in Avonlea, there's the group of girls she hangs around with. Some of whom are, not the nicest people necessarily, but they're still, your friends, and they surprisingly out of nowhere will come out to bat for you. Even the people you kind of can't stand. So, like, there's one young lady in particular who I kind of think of as the Cartman of their group.
And who's that?
I couldn't tell you the name, but the one with kind of the fuller face and the loud mouth.
Oh, you're talking about Josie Pye?
And that would be, yes, Josie Pye.
Okay, yeah. She is kind of, she's certainly something.
Yeah, she's not obviously that bad, but she's to my mind at least, the Cartman of that group of girls. So
nowhere near to that extreme. I
right,
get what you mean,
in relative terms, yes.
Yeah.
No, she actually is not a bad. She's not. I wouldn't personally describe her as pretty likable, but she's not a bad person.
She's very outside.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they've got a whole bunch of people, and that's the thing about the show that I want to talk about the most, and that is why we're even talking about it. Because honestly, I don't know what else we even say about the story. It's the feeling of the show. It's got a grounded, real world feel. Everything feels like this is somebody's life. I know people
Because
like these.
it's a very well done period piece is the thing.
Yes, that's a good way to
and
put it.
I think what they're doing probably is they probably did a lot of research into the time and place and so forth, but also there is a long history of TV, movie, and anime productions of these works.
Oh yes,
And
this
I
is not
imagine
even
they
the first
drew on
anime.
that.
It's also not the second anime.
No, so this almost feels like a coda or like almost like the Seven Samurai, where every generation has its own version of it, or several.
This is them trying to make their own stamped version of it, which, you know what,
Yeah.
I approve, and also I'm grateful, because while I'd known about it, never really had an interest in jumping into it, and I don't know that I ever would have had they not made this. And
To the
if
point
they
where
don't adapt everything, I'm gonna read it.
same. Yeah, to the point where, I mean, if I was a producer when I was when they were done with this, as far as they're going, I would hand this same team the novel I mentioned before and the TV adaptation and say, okay, this is your next project. Can you imagine what they do with that?
Yeah.
Because it's just an interesting time and place, and also just how subtly, you know, it feels just that subtly bit foreign to me as an American, even being 100 years removed,
This
more
is
than 100
interesting.
years removed.
The studio is called the Answer Studio, and they have made something we've seen before.
Oh,
Power of God Season 2.
okay. Well,
They've also made
high
a Gold
quality
Rush
animation.
13 and Flag. So they've been around a while.
Certainly explains the production quality.
Indeed. They don't have a ton of shows, but they've got a couple, and I hope they keep going.
Yeah, I mean, if the whole novel series is there, I hope they just kind of
I
work
kind
through
of
it.
hope this goes for like a year or so. Just go through all of it.
Yep.
I keep watching. As Funimation would say, you should be watching. And
So
I
yeah,
don't know what else to say other than you should absolutely watch this show. It's a fantastic time. It's a great feeling show. Always loved. Oh, there is something else to say. The animation and the music in this show are holy shit.
oh yes.
The writing we could chalk up to the novel that it's based on, but the animation and the art direction and the music, god damn, it's a tour de force.
Yeah, and even down to me is the story. Not that I know that much about this time and place, but I haven't seen a single anachronism, at least that I'm aware of. So, not that that means much coming from me specifically, but you know, if it, you know, usually you can tell whether people care about that sort of thing, and they obviously do here.
Indeed. Well, I think that's a topic.
All right, so it's a bit of a change, but why don't you tell us about this week's shout out?
Yes! Today we're talking about Studio Revue starring Sam Reid. Hey, you! Yes, you. Have you ever wondered what the best bathroom in America looks like? How about what it'd be like to walk across the least walkable city in the United States for 16 miles? No? Maybe learning about the best hotel breakfast in the United States based on quality and value. They literally make a chart. Maybe that's going to be up your alley. Or how about finding the last standing Taco Hut in the United States? Spoiler alert, it's not in any of the states. It's in Puerto Rico. All these topics and more are wild and crazy entertaining topics are covered by Sam Reid over at the Studio Revue or Review. And the best part, this dude's got ethics. He does not try to sneak in or social engineer or argue with security to do his wild stunts. He actually talks to the people ahead of time and makes sure that he's doing things with integrity. He actually does. I could do it that way, but that doesn't sit right with me. Like he'll go ahead like for the hotels. He's like, hey, I'm not staying at your hotel, but can I, get the breakfast? Either do I have to pay for it or let you know ahead of time? He doesn't try to just sneak in. And that works out. So it does mean that sometimes he doesn't get what he wants, like his dreams of eating Waffle House with the Jonas Brothers. But you do see him try to do it ethically. He reaches out to them in every possible way he can that isn't being, like, creepy. And you get to cheer him for the attempt. The Studio Revue, because as he says at the end of all of his videos, even if it doesn't feel like it, everything will be okay. Yeah, I've fallen down this rabbit hole for the last couple of weeks, and it's a really fun channel.
All right.
The channel is linked, but it is The Real Sam Reid.
Okie dokes.
Well, I think that about does it for all of that. So, Ark, why don't you tell us where people can find you?
Aside from Space Station 14 and so forth, the Schedule 1 update just dropped, so I'm getting through a new playthrough of that. And believe it or not, what I've mostly been doing lately is Gunsmith Simulator, as silly as that seems. It's you can't, there's really no challenge to it. It's paint by numbers. It's just a Zen thing, and it's the kind of game that you do not play to focus on. It's the kind of game you play with a podcast on.
Okay. Such as our own, perhaps?
Indeed. Yes, it would be an excellent thing to listen to us to. And it's just the satisfaction of the clicky clacky, the clean polish. There's certain things you could do to be better, to optimize essentially, but it won't let you break anything. So, and there's just something viscerally satisfying about it, the mechanics of it. So, I almost refunded it in the first 10 minutes. I'm glad I didn't, because at first the UI is going to seem stupid. At least on keyboard and mouse, it is fine, albeit still it never quite stops being janky, but it's fine. Just stick with it. Yeah, and it also doesn't quite explain how to that for example you need to click on certain things to start. So just use your logical deduction essentially, and once you it does walk you through all the different stuff gradually, and there's not that much to it. So,
well, all right then. As for me, you can find me on Twitter at LaserKidPrime. You can find me on Blue Sky when I remember that I have a Blue Sky at LaserKid. And you can find me over on the Toonami Faithful podcast pretty much every week, talking about all the crazy Toonami stuff with Sketch, Kuro, Steven, and all the other awesome people over on Toonami Faithful. So do check us out over there if you get a chance. If you like anime, it's a good place to be. Toonami actually fixed its shit and has a lot of shows right now. As for Simuldub Saints, you can find us here on YouTube at Simuldub Saints, over on Spotify Podcast for the audio version, which I do absolutely need to catch up on getting those all edited for audio as well for the major down period, but I will get to it. And of course, you can find us on social media, both on Twitter and Blue Sky at Simuldub Saints. Well, that does it for this week's episode of Simuldub Saints. So until next time, catch you later.